Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Now, you might recall 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had a live stream with a young female doctor who had been excluded from practicing medicine in South Africa because of all that red tape that the HPCSA has been putting up. Well, I've now been approached by a few other doctors and we're trying to tie up a live stream so that they can tell us how this has impacted on their lives. And there's an article that's now appeared in the, you could call the mainstream media in South Africa about this subject, which basically, it's like a rolling ball gathering moss. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And basically, these doctors who've been impacted, who can't practice in South Africa, are looking for something like 10,000 signatures to go on a petition to present to the Minister of Health and say this is ridiculous. Anyway, I'll tell you what's come out in the papers on Sunday today. Unemployed medical graduates who have obtained qualifications abroad have accused the Health Professional Council of South Africa, or the HPCSA, and the National Department of Health of deliberately keeping them jobless. They were further angered at the recent arrival of 217 Cuban doctors at an estimated cost of 440 million rand, depriving them of an opportunity to serve the country. Advocate Rene Govender of the South African International Trained Health Professional Association, or SAITPA, said most issues date as far back as 2018. Govender said that the HPCSA had been unsupportive and obstructive to the group of more than 300 graduates by refusing them the opportunity to write board examinations. Now, there's a common term that's appearing where people send letters or emails or requests to ministers or their departments. There's a common denominator which I see so many times from people. And I'm not just talking about the common man. I'm talking about leaders of organizations like TLUSA and big organizations. And that common concern is that email is never even replied to. They don't bother to reply to the emails sent to them. These ministers are not serving the public. They're serving their own back pockets with big fat salaries. That's the only thing they're interested in. Anyway, let's continue with the story. Advocate Rene Govender of the SA Internationally Trained Health Professional Association, or SAITPA, said most issues dated as far back as 2018. Govender said the HPCSA had been unsupportive and obstructive to the group of more than 300 graduates by refusing them the opportunity to write board examinations. It is alleged that some of those who have attempted to register for the exams were told they were not eligible or they could not be accommodated due to a limit of 120 applicants a year. In March last year, applicants who missed the 120 cap and were waiting their return to write exams in September were informed that their applications had been deemed non-compliant as their chosen universities, mostly Chinese, had not been evaluated by the relevant medical and dental boards. Subsequently, the SAITPA threatened legal action on behalf of its members, and graduates were permitted to write the board exam in March 2020 and May 2020. However, the HPCSA backtracked on that decision. It is alleged that graduates who had been given an opportunity to write the 2020 practical board exam in January had still not received their results and therefore could not register for internship in the mid-year cycle. Govender said matters had been raised with both President Cyril Ramaphosa and Health Minister Zweli Mkhize, but no action had been taken yet. She said the next step was for the association was legal action. Now, this is typical. Cyril Ramaphosa, hippo eyes, he gets up there and makes these most wonderful speeches, which he didn't even write. Someone wrote for him. Probably an NGO, probably a George Soros Open Society Foundation member talking bullshit, just trying to appease the crowds of people who are getting more and more gatvol with this government. They don't care. And this is a perfect example. This organization has written to the president himself, and he has dismissed the letter. This is how much he cares for the people of South Africa. He is a complete and utter con man, a walking con man, as bad as, if not worse, than Jacob Zuma. Let's get back to the story. Governor said some of these graduates have been waiting for more than 3 years to write their board examinations. How will the president explain to the citizens of this country the government's initiative to import medical personnel when South African doctors have been waiting so long to write their board examinations? She said, if you look at our record of engaging the Minister of Health and the HPCSA, it is shocking. These graduates have come back, no burden on the taxpayer, and are keen to write the board exams. They are devastated and extremely disappointed with this government for spending 400 million rand to bring in 217 doctors. She said they are devastated and extremely disappointed with this government for spending 400 million rand to bring in 217 doctors. Priscilla Sekonyana, head of corporate affairs at the HPCSA, said it was everyone's right to seek intervention from South African courts and that the HPCSA would present the legislative and regulatory requirements that guided its decisions and would abide by the court's decision. Now, let me just tell you something here, that this is typical of why South Africa is going into a crap heap so quickly. Because you've got these people who all they want to do is pick up their paycheck on a Friday. That's all they want to do. They're really walking around looking like they're doing the right thing and being professional and saying the right crap when they get in front of the media. But in reality, it's all BS. This is why everything in South Africa is falling in a heap. Anyway, let's continue. This woman, Priscilla Sekonyana, said, the HPCSA does not accredit international or foreign institutions as it has no legal jurisdiction for such outside of South Africa. However, for applicants who have studied abroad and seek to register with the HPCSA, the training programs and curriculum, including courses that they studied, are assessed by the HPCSA, and if they're aligned to those that are accredited in South Africa, they will then be recognized. That is for a period of 5 years, she said. Should an application be received from such an institution after the 5-year period, the same assessment will be undertaken to establish if they are aligned and therefore recognized by the HPCSA. Pojo Moja, spokesperson for the National Department of Health, dismissed claims made by the SAITHPA, saying there was no evidence to prove that aggrieved members of the association were indeed graduates. He said ordinarily, a country that trained professionals would offer them internships, but this has not been the case with these graduates. He said South Africans wanted to offer internships to the group, provided they passed theoretical exams, but those of them who had sat for the exams had not performed well. Well, most of them haven't sat for the exams because they couldn't sit for the exams. So that's a BS coming out of this idiot's mouth. Anyway, he said, they should address their grievances with the HPCSA, and we are confident that the Council is well equipped to handle the grievances. As a department, we have no right to intervene. This is called passing the buck. This is classic bureaucratic passing the buck. Here you've got 300 trained doctors in South Africa who, because of red tape and incompetence at the HPCSA, cannot practice in South Africa when this friggin' coronavirus is going to fly through the country and they need every single doctor they can get. Here you've got several hundred who cannot go into a hospital and help people. It's ridiculous. And they're very well-trained doctors. Anyway, Maja said, it would have been risky for the department to allow graduates to be on the front line of the pandemic without the necessary experience. The Cuban health professionals who are now in the country have experience in infection control. That is why the country asked them to come and assist. No, they don't. These Cuban health, they're not professionals. They're actually people studying medicine. they haven't actually qualified as doctors yet. They're coming over here as part of their internship. That's why they're here. And that's South Africa is paying 400 million rand for them to do that. And in the meantime, you've got qualified doctors who've done their internship, they've passed their degrees, that cannot go into a hospital and help patients. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's called L factor, missing in action. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe. And don't forget, tonight at 8 p.m. Johannesburg time, I'm talking to Simone, and we're going to be talking about the situation in South Africa. And you better believe this is going to be discussed tonight on the live stream. Cheers, guys. Take care.